As you have no doubt already seen, the Claw Speaker of Beasts has a very special version of Transformation of Kadon that, instead of summoning a Manticore, summons a Celestial Lion, which of course is 500 points more expensive and just a much better unit overall than the Manticore currently. It's also got Block of Doom, the best AoE damage spells in the game. Today I'm going to be taking all that and more against Bob's Kislev here. Got a Sawai Tiger Lord for some anti-large mobile beat stick for a good time. Some Iron Claw Tiger Warriors, 3 of them, 3 Peasant Horsemen, and 3 Jade Lancers. Got some Grand Cannons here as well, 1 unit. XP chevrons to give them better accuracy and fire rate. Against Kislev here, which has got a big old stack of infantry, Kossars, and Kossar Spears. We've got Kislev Warriors on the flanks, and some Griffin Legion here on the left flank, along with some light sleds, and Armored Kossars in the center, Streltsy, including Voidanov's Ballers. Of course, a couple of Crowmen for me as well. And one very sneaky, cheeky, breaky Constified Dervish that's moving in on my back line that I am going to notice a little bit too late because, of course, with By Our Blood, it just make contact, then it's almost guaranteed to actually take out an artillery crew, even if I do react in time. Granted, I was full potato at this point, and I could have blocked the Jade Lancers, but definitely did not. That's not great by any means, having that cannon get taken out early on in the game, but I'm going to see a summoned Snow Leopard here fighting Tiger Warrior Sawai. Some cat-on-cat violence here. Feline ferocity on display, as I'm going to just go ahead and not take that engagement against the summoned unit, pop that Potion of Toughness to heal up the little bit of damage that I had taken, and get back to protecting the lines here, although there's not much to protect. Crossbite Dervishes, as said, I was able to react and take them out, but unfortunately they killed almost the entire cannon crew. And did they actually break all the cannon unit models? It doesn't look like it. I can somehow get the crew back from routing. We could maybe reman the guns, get a little bit of damage in, but yeah. One odd thing, too, about summoned unit, I did notice that their summon timer seemed to change somewhat. I don't know, like it still runs out and they just die, but they just hang around for one bit. Anyway, yeah, the Cav and Armored Kossar is going to try and swoop in, hit some of these isolated units over on this far flank here, as the Streltsy and Kossars get ready to respond. Get the cannon crew back very briefly, so let's see if we can get them back online. Take a few more shots here. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of just a little bit of a YOLO charge. Voidanov's Brawlers do have the suppression effect, but I figure if I just hit them with a bunch of units at the same time, try and prevent them from firing too much, can hopefully limit their damage somewhat. They did just tear apart that Peasant Horseman right there, though, and the Griffin Legion also moving in. My idea here was have the Tiger Warriors support my own mobility, try and win mobility, and then use my speed to roll up Kislev's infantry. But I am feeling a bit of a lack of anti-infantry in this build. Probably would have been better just straight up to have Bashiva here instead of the Tiger Warrior Sawai, just because anti-infantry would have benefited me a lot more. Actually, you know, thinking through, not a lot of single entities that I actually need to worry about fighting here that I probably could shoot to death. So anyway, summoned Celestial Lion is going to move in though with the Sawai, try and single entity just blast these Armored Kossars as the Voidanov's Brawlers on the run from Jade Lancers, who themselves are taking quite a bit of overwatch, but it's mostly non-armor piercing. I say mostly because there are some Streltsy here as well, but yeah, Iron Tiger Claws just absolutely destroying. Kislev Warriors going to get a nice charge on some Kossars in here. Over on the far side, this unit unfortunately had a really rough engagement. They were charged by sleds, and they were caught, you know, not braced by sleds and Griffin Legion. Multiple units of Griffin Legion, actually. But their glorious charge is a lot for the 60 armor of the Iron Claws. Definitely don't want them taking too many direct charges from that very nasty high charge unit. But over here, things are going a lot better for me. Iron Claw is able to help wrap things up. The Celestial Lions, Y, Claw Speaker, also comboing very well with the Jade Lancers here, providing a little bit of armor-piercing punch. Their shock, cavalry status, and yeah, just generally able to shock some units off the field, but credit to Bob here. He's tossing out some magic to keep me on my toes. Hawks of Misha here. Do that discourage contact effect. Not the most armor-piercing damage, so it won't do a crazy amount of damage to the Jade Lancers, but still pretty effective overall against the 60 armor of the Iron Claws. Of which they themselves moving on the Streltsy, pushing these dervishes away. Got some Jade Lancers coming back. They're gonna very bravely just head charge the and I'm not 100% sure why Bob noped out of this, because the Griffin Legion probably would have won that engagement. I don't know, maybe because I have the Sawai and the Claw Speaker nearby. I didn't want to have that extra armor-piercing little punch in there, but he's going to run these Griffin Legion away, and as a result, the Jade Lancers are going to get a ton of free value here against a much superior cavalry unit, which I am definitely grateful for. But here's an engagement I wanted to show. Yeah, on a direct charge there, the sleds, just by themselves, just get absolutely clobbered by the Iron Claws. Very, very cool performance from them on that particular engagement. And these two, just overall, have just been mauling through Kislev's army in general already, with hundreds of kills between them. And definitely some value accruing there. But Griffin Legion, like the charge actually got the best contact there. A bunch of their unit models kind of got stopped up. Maybe there's some peasant horsemen mixed in there, but that does allow the Iron Claws to kind of filter in and get some pretty good damage. Jade Lancers also arrive with the other unit of Griffin Legion, and it's going to turn into a big old pitched engagement. Units, bombardment from Kislev here. They get some pretty solid damage. Again, the lower armor of the Iron Claws makes them somewhat more vulnerable to just all damage types, but meanwhile, yeah, Croman's starting to run out of steam a little bit. I have been able to break and chase a lot of units off. Single entities still doing just fine. Claw Speaker and Sawai unchallenged, though the same can be said for the Eye Switch or Bob. This unit of Iron Warriors doing their best, but they are matched up just against an insane amount of value of units here. I mean, between two Griffin Legion and Light War Sleds, what is that, like, well over 3,000, maybe almost 4,000 gold value worth of units that they're having to fight by themselves, not to mention getting shot in the side by some armored Kossars, regular Kossars. So yeah, not a great situation for the Iron Claws, but you see the respect that Bob has for them even still, just like, nope. Nope, not gonna let you catch me. Very, very interesting. I'm gonna see if I can catch him unawares. They do get in contact with the sled there. Break that unit model down. Else why the Claw Speaker just tearing what they can apart of the Kossars out there in the distance. But let's watch the not quite Last Samurai, but something somewhat similar. As these guys charge on in, make contact with the armored Kossars, just absolutely clean them up. Overwatch from Streltsy now is going to be really nasty. They also have rear charge opportunity available for the Griffin Legion. They're going to charge on in. I'm going to just gloriously countercharge. There's no chance of victory here anyway, so we might as well go out swinging. Yeah, they weren't even able to stop up any of the unit models there on that particular charge. Too few of them, like what we saw with the Grail Knights in that other video. But yeah, the Claw Speaker, actually pretty decent stats overall. With that proc giving him the devastating flanker, it can definitely get some good damage, especially like in single entity engagements, charging into the side or rear of an enemy single entity, kind of teaming up with its own single entities. But anyway, it is up to these two to try and win this, which unfortunately we are playing Conquest, and Bob very wisely capped this victory location here, so he is getting victory tickets. Soon will be at a point where I can't come back, obviously. He'll win the game, so I need to try and get on this point if I can, but at the same time I don't want to just stand on the point and get shot by Streltsy. That's not great, so a little bit of a catch-22 here. I'm going to throw one Flock of Doom just real quick on the Streltsy. Try and see if I can get them off with the Sawai breaking their leadership. We do manage to break the Kossars. Streltsy not quite, but they are moving away. Brawlers also getting some suppression and some damage. But Yeah, unfortunately for me, the claw speaker here only has 15 armor. And although he has been doing a great job getting surrounded by gloriously charging, yeah, Griffin Legion, he instantly breaks. And that's going to be game. So honestly, very well played to Bob there. I do think I could have won that game had I been able to keep the cannon on even for like another 30 seconds. Because it ultimately ended up being pretty close. You know, like one or two, not one volley, but a couple of effective volleys, either on the Streltsy or on the Griffin Legion, I think would have really helped me out. But overall, I do think it was kind of my own mistakes and Bob's excellent play that beat me there, so credit to him. And yeah, overall, I do think, as I mentioned before, Iron Claws, just fantastic overall. Even in a losing performance, they were still able to get some really nice value, at least a couple of them, very well in their intended role. Just really, really like them supporting either Peasant Horsemen, Jade Lancers, or possibly both. Yeah, the Onyx Crowmen also, just in general, the fact that Cathay actually has like a heavy-hitting anti-large unit that can support these different units, which themselves do a pretty good job against infantry and other things. Like yeah, overall, I think they have a very, very key place in Cathay's roster. Just any matchup where you're expecting to face quality heavy cavalry is definitely one I would take them in. This matchup, obviously, that would fall into that category. Griffin Legion, Lancers, very, very potent, very common in a lot of matchups. Griffin Legion in particular, just so, so strong. I don't know if you can hear my cat in the background. He's very angry about something, but yeah, anyway, fun one for sure. Looking at Bob's values, Sleds were able to get some really nice value. Griffin Legions as well. One of them at least. Very nice value. The one Dervish also that takes out my cannon pays for itself. Streltsy, pretty effective overall. One of them gets some pretty mad value. But yeah, I mean, it was actually one Armored Kossar also. Nice to see them get a good performance. Pretty close battle overall. Bob just kind of edging me out there. But yeah, fun one for sure. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this Tiger Warriors content. I'm going to keep it coming up until, you know, Thursday release day. Then be in all of your hands. Like, wait to see what you do with it. So thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next time.